Assalamu alaikum. A very good morning, dear students, and welcome back to your biology class. And this is your biology teacher from United Public School. So, students, in our today's session, we are going to start our new chapter 9, that is adaptation in different ecosystem. So, the name of the chapter is adaptation in different ecosystem. So, first of all, what is meant by adaptation? Adaptation means the process of change in which an organism species become better situated. So a simple word, it is a definition, but in simple form adaptation means a process of change. So here different kinds of changing process are occurring in the ecosystem. So now what is ecosystem means? Ecosystem means the plants, the animals and the other living organisms live together with the climate, weather and on the earth is known as ecosystem. Actually in simple form, ecosystem consists of biotic and abiotic life. What is biotic and abiotic? Biotic in the sense living organisms and abiotic in the sense non-living organisms. So here what is the example of abiotic? The natural climate and the natural river resources, land resources, mountain and land. Okay, so all the living and non-living organisms live together is known as ecosystem. So here many changes occurring in different level of ecosystem is nothing but this explanation is that lesson. Okay, so we found that there were different differences between ecosystem of land and other water ecosystem. We can see differences within the ecosystem also, a very small area as well as you all know there is differences in ecosystem. So as we all know, what is habitat? Habitat means the natural home or the environment of an animal or the plant or other organism. So in simple words, natural home for the animals or the plants is known as habitat. And you all know ecosystem is a combination of biotic and abiotic components. So in this lesson, we are going to study how the animals acquire, in the sense accept the adaptation in to different conditions. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to see how organisms all started being inhabiting in certain environment. So they are acquiring adaptations to adjust themselves to diverse and distinct changes in ecosystem. So the organisms have to adopt different means for better survival. For better survival, the animals are being changes, adopting changes for them to better survive. For example, some trees such as mangroves like Abyssinia have evolved a curious way to deal with the problems of growing in a wet and salty place. They have evolved to have curiously appearing projections from their roots called pneumophores. As you can see in pictures, mangrove plants are being adopted a changes. As you can see, the roots are coming out, right? Why? Because of this wetland, the roots are not going to respire, so that the roots are coming out of the ground so that they can respire. That process is known as pneumatophores. So the aerial roots developed from the lateral roots, in the sense the top roots are coming from sideways. Lateral roots means sideways, and they are growing outside and protrudes up to 12 inches. Protrude in the sense coming out. Okay, coming out for up to 12 inches from the soil or sediment. So these roots aids in the sense helps the plants to in maintaining adequate root respiration. When the roots coming out like this on the ground, when the roots are in the ground, if the ground is wet, because of that wet ground, so mangrove plants or mangroves roots are coming out like this. So at that time what happened? These roots helps in respiration. So adequate root respiration in saline marshy environment. This helps in better root respiration. So actually this kind of root respiration we won't see around us, isn't it? This type of root respiration only you can see at a wet places, at a pond places or small pond places or marshy places you can see. So all these such ways means the organisms adopt to certain period for time in different condition for the survival betterment. So we may also say that the adaptation is a feature, isn't it? It is a feature that is coming in any problem, in any in any population, because it provides some improvements for better survival, isn't it? For the better survival, the adaptations is a particular feature coming out in a plant population. So next is the activity 2. We need to collect the aquatic plants like hydroland, Verticilleria, etc. Either if you don't find this kind of plants, then you need to see the floating plant which is on the surface of the water, protruding outside, not inside of the water, protruding outside of the water. Okay, that plants you need to collect and put it in a pot and you need to water it. Then you will observe. What you will observe? We will see that some plants will dry up very quickly after watering also, but some plant won't get dried up if we water them also, which means each of these plants are adapted to the condition in their surrounding on the basis of need of water, which means some plants need only a little bit of water, some plants need large amount of water. Okay. So what is meant by adaptation? As I told you, but here see deeply. Organisms in nature adapt to situations. Specifically means organisms according to the situation they will adopt a specific. Specially, for example, Opentia, the leaves are reduced to spines. In Opentia plants, they have actually leaves, but the leaves are changed to spines. Spines in the sense the spikes which is present on the plants. Needle-like structure, the needle-like structure is nothing but spines. See here, this is an Opentia plant. As you can see, this is a green leaf. But due to scarcity of plant water, the leaves is converting into this spines, needle-like structure. Why the leaves is converting to the spines? Because the loss of water should not get transpiration. Okay, during transpiration, as you know, what is the process of transpiration? The loss of water by the evaporation. So water should not lose and water should be stored in the leaves so that the leaves are modified to the spines. Because if the leaves are present, then on the leaves stomata will present. That stomata will lose large amount of water in the atmosphere. That large amount of water we need to minimize so that the leaves are converted into spines, so that the water should be stored in the tissues of the plants. This process is known as succulent stems. So this helps to plants to live in conditions of water scarcity. When the water is low, at that scarcity also plants will survive, such as like desert trees, deserts and dry places. Aloe vera is found in our surrounding as well as, but you may have heard that they are generally called desert plants. So yes, we have heard that aloe vera is generally known as a desert plant. The desert plants are known as xerophytes. See in the figure, we have seen the aloe vera plant as well as Opentia. Clearly not seen, right? Some plants will modify leaves into stem, and some plant modification is also seen over here. See in this diagram, as you can see, this is the Moabab tree. This is the Moabab tree. Okay, so its trunk is very large, right? Large and swollen. Okay, thick and swollen trunk is this. Why? Because it stores large amount of water inside it. Why? Because during heat season, dry season, hot season, this water can be utilized by the plant so that it will store large amount of water in this swollen thick trunk. Okay, this type of modification is also, adaptation is also seen in the plants. In your textbook also they have given figure number 3, desert plants, Moabab plants, and it is the cactus. Okay, so there are some other plants also which is called living stones. So the name itself indicating the stones or the plants are like stones, but they are not stones. These are swollen leaves adapted to the desert condition, which means that is a plant. That is not a stones, that are the plant, living plants. They are modified or changes to the swollen leaf, because they don't want to lose water. The minimize water loss and storing water, so that some plants will also modify into living stones that are known as pebble plants. Okay. See here students, this is a pebble plant. Actually these are the leaves, but they are modified into pebbles. Okay. For the two reasons, because they want to minimize the water loss and they want to store it. Second point is they want to save themselves from the predators, from the plant eating animals also. You have that figure in your textbook also. So nowadays many xerophytes are grown as a ornamental plants, in the sense decorative plants. We will see in the most of the hotels and all, they are decorative plants, or which is placed at the pot. Okay. So see students, these are the ornamental plants which are using for the decorative purpose nowadays. So some plants as a whole seems like a flower. Some plants will be completely covered by a flower. Some plants all have thorns in the sense pines, and some flowers have bright full color like petals. Okay, the flower petals are very bright color. So nowadays these kind of decorative or the ornamental plants are using for the gift purpose, to give gift in the birthdays and anniversaries and any other occasions. As you can see, this is the figure of cactus. So like plants, adaptation can be seen in animals. Yes. What adaptation can be seen? Camels. Camels, how do they adopt? Yes, I'm talking about camel. The figure number 6, you have camel over there, right? So not only adaptations are seen in plants, but also adaptation can be seen in animals as well. So these camel have some features like hum. They have inside their body hums. It helps in storing fat for the later uses. Okay, and some long eyelashes. These eyelashes, it will protect the eyes from the sun. And nostrils, these nostrils helps in voluntary, in the sense when they want to close, they will close. So they can they close the nostrils, so that the sand should not go inside their nostrils. And they also have long leg that keeps the body away from the hot ground, so that they can walk a long distance in a desert area. See students, in our figure number 7, you have sidewinder snake, rat, golden mole, sand grouse. Okay, these are some of the animals which we are going to discuss in our next class, desert animals. This is also a desert animal, camel, right? So this is the general information about adaptations in plants and animals. So students, your today's homework is write the first and second question in your notebooks. What do you understand by adaptation in organisms, and why do they adapt? And with the help of 2 examples, explain how these organisms have adapted themselves in the ecosystem. These 2 questions you need to write as today's assignment and submit in your groups. Okay, thank you students. Have a nice day.